Across the annals of history, a chilling prophecy echoes through the ages. A war unlike any other, foretold by ancient seers and mystics. A conflict so vast, it will engulf nations and shake the very foundations of our world. But this is no ordinary battle. This is the War of Yegug. Who are these mysterious forces? Where will this cataclysmic struggle unfold? And most importantly, are we standing on the precipice of its fulfillment? In the sacred texts of Judaism, the War of Yegug looms large as a pivotal moment in the grand tapestry of time. The ancient scrolls speak of a leader, a figure of immense power who will rise from the shadows to challenge the chosen people. This commander, known only as Yegug, will marshal a vast coalition of nations, their armies stretching as far as the eye can see. But this is no mere mortal conflict. The very heavens themselves will tremble as divine wrath rains down upon Yegug's forces. Earthquakes will split the earth, fire will fall from the skies, and hailstones of unimaginable size will crush the invaders. For in this moment, the Almighty will reveal His might, defending His people and ushering in an era of peace. Yet the sages warn us, this is not simply a clash of swords and shields. The War of Yegug represents a cosmic battle, a final confrontation between the forces of light and darkness. It is the crucible through which humanity must pass to reach the promised age of redemption. But the tale of Yegug does not end there. For in the Christian tradition, this ancient enemy takes on an even more sinister form. The book of Revelation paints a terrifying picture of Yegug, not as a mere nation, but as the very embodiment of evil itself. After 1,000 years of peace, when it seems that darkness has been vanquished forever, Yegug will rise again. Like a plague upon the earth, it will spread, deceiving the nations and gathering them for one last, desperate assault against the righteous. Armies beyond counting will march, their banners blackening the sky. Yet even in this darkest hour, hope remains. For it is written that fire will rain down from heaven, consuming Yegug and its hordes in an instant. In this moment, evil will be defeated once and for all, and the final judgment will begin. For Christians, the coming of Yegug is a sign, a harbinger of the end times. It is a reminder that though evil may seem defeated, vigilance must never waver. For in the shadows, the forces of darkness gather, waiting for their moment to strike. But it is not only in the west that the spectre of Yegug looms. In the sands of Arabia, whispered tales speak of Yajuj and Majuj, destructive beings of terrifying power. The Quran tells of a righteous king who once built a great wall to contain these monstrous forces, sealing them away from the world of men. Yet, as the day of judgment approaches, that ancient barrier will crumble. Yegug, in its Islamic guise, will pour forth like a tidal wave of chaos. Cities will fall, nations will crumble, and corruption will spread across the face of the earth like a cancer. But even in this time of darkness, hope remains. For it is written that Allah Himself will intervene, striking down Yegug and its hordes with divine power. In this moment, the faithful will be vindicated, and the path to paradise will be opened. Some scholars see Yajuj and Majuj as literal tribes, hidden away in some remote corner of the world. Others view them as symbols, representations of the corruption and chaos that will engulf humanity in its final days. But all agree, when Yegug rises, the end is near. Though the details may differ, a common thread runs through these ancient prophecies. In Judaism, Christianity, and Islam alike, Yegug represents a final cataclysmic struggle. It is the moment when the forces of evil make their last, desperate stand against the righteous. In the Jewish tradition, it is the final war before the coming of the Messiah, the birth pangs of a new age of peace and enlightenment. For Christians, it marks the end of Christ's millennial reign and the prelude to the Last Judgment. And in Islam, the rise of Yajuj heralds the approach of the day of resurrection, when all souls will be called to account. But in each telling, one truth remains constant. Divine intervention will be necessary to overcome this threat. The power of Yajuj is too great for mortal hands alone. Only through the direct action of God can this evil be vanquished and a new era of peace be ushered in. As we look at the world around us, it's hard not to wonder. Are we seeing the first stirrings of Yajuj in our time? Global alliances shift and change like sand in the wind. The specter of nuclear war looms larger with each passing day. And everywhere we look, the fabric of society seems to be unraveling. From the frozen steppes of Russia to the sun-baked deserts of the Middle East, tensions simmer and threaten to boil over at any moment. Armies mass on borders, fingers hover over launch buttons, and the world holds its breath. Are these the opening moves in Yajuj's grand strategy? And what of the moral decay that seems to be spreading across the globe like a virus? As ancient values crumble and chaos reigns in the streets, are we witnessing the corruption foretold in the sacred texts? Is this the softening of the earth, preparing it for Yajuj's final assault? The pieces certainly seem to be moving into place. Alliances form and shatter with dizzying speed. Nations that once stood as bastions of stability now teeter on the brink of collapse. And in the hearts of men and women across the world, fear and uncertainty take root. Yet even as the storm clouds gather, we must remember the message of hope that lies at the heart of these ancient prophecies. For in each telling, though the darkness may seem all-consuming, light always triumphs in the end. The power of Yajuj, no matter how vast, is no match for the divine. But this is not a call to complacency, far from it. For if these are indeed the days foretold by the prophets of old, then each of us has a choice to make. Will we succumb to fear and despair, or will we stand firm in the face of the coming storm? The war of Yajuj may be an ancient tale, but its echoes resound through the corridors of time. It speaks to the eternal struggle between light and darkness, between hope and despair, that rages in the heart of every human being. So, as we stand on the threshold of an uncertain future, we must ask ourselves, are we ready? Ready to face the challenges that lie ahead, whatever form they may take? Ready to stand for what is right, even in the darkest of times? For in the end, the true battle against Yajuj is not fought on distant battlefields or in the halls of power. It is waged in the hearts and minds of every person every day. It is the choice we make between fear and courage, between hatred and love, between despair and hope. The war of Yajuj may be coming, but the power to shape its outcome lies within each of us. The question is not whether we will face this ancient enemy, but how we will face it. With trembling and fear, or with courage and conviction. The choice is yours. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support helps the channel grow and brings more awesome content your way. Until next time, stay curious, stay also.